There's a lot of golf tips out there for the male golfers, but what about female golfers? Women play golf also. Well, you've come to the right place because today we're talking about specific tips with the driver that are going to help female golfers hit the golf ball further, straighter, and enjoy this wonderful game a little bit more. I'm PGA teaching professional Todd Kolb, Director of Instruction for US Golf TV. And I've got one of my good friends here, Cindy. You played the tour for a long time. You love golf, and you got a real passion for it. And today we're going to talk about some specifics to help women golfers play better golf. But this is the first time maybe a lot of you have seen Cindy here with us at US Golf TV and the Sanford Power Golf Academy. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself real quick.
Well, I'm Cindy Rarick, and I played the tour for 24 years. I had 6 wins, and I love golf, and I love trying to help people play better golf just so they can enjoy the game more. And so today, Todd and I have come up with some ideas for you women that will really help. And the first one, should I go right into it?
Yeah, let's dive in because we're going to talk about 3 different things here. We got 3 great tips, and at the end, we're going to give you a bonus tip to kind of help all golfers, no matter where you are, what you're doing. And if you haven't already, hey, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to join our family here at US Golf TV. This is the place for you. If you love golf, this is where you want to be because we've got great people like Cindy. We got all types of great instruction out there to help you play better golf. But let's start with the first one. Let's start with arm position. Talk to me about that.
Okay. Well, I've had this question a lot over the years, and this pertains to women that might be a little larger chested than others. And they would say, well, do I go over or do I go under? Well, the answer is always going over so that you have room so you don't get stuck, because if you were to go under, you could get stuck and you couldn't even get the club back. So, it's been an embarrassing question for some women that don't even want to ask the question, but over is definitely where you want to be, so it allows you room to be able to turn the club back and then return it to the ball.
It's a great tip, and it's a great place to start because you're talking about some things that, we're giving specific tips today for female golfers, and this is what we really want. We want to help them play better golf and enjoy this wonderful game, and today we're talking about the driver, but to get the most out of that. So let's talk about the position of the hips and, really in the setup, because I think it helps with the turn and creating power, which is something all women golfers are looking for. More speed, more power.
Most definitely, Todd. Yeah. So what I've seen throughout my career when I play with a lot of amateur women is that they address the ball and they're just kind of standing up, or, well, of course they're standing up, but you really want to perch your hips back or push your buns back, because if you're too up, you're going to have a tendency to sway versus turn. So putting the hips back puts you, first of all, in a more athletic position, and it allows a better turn where you're more stable, and then that way you can return the club and get to your left side on the follow through. But having the hips back is a major key.
And I think, I don't want to speak for you, but would it be true like in your own game? You played the game for, over 20 years and won 6 times. Getting in a good setup position, we're talking about arms, we're talking about hips. If you're not in the right position to begin with, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Absolutely. And that's what Todd is so right. You just got to be in the good starting position to be able to create a good golf swing and then a good result with your golf shots.
All right, so those are some things, first of all. And if you got some questions specifically on whether it be the hips or the arms things, those types of stuff that Cindy's mentioned here, put those in there, put them in the comments. We'll be happy to answer those the best as we can. But let's talk a little bit about the position of the ball. I want to talk about that before we give a nice bonus tip at the end that's going to apply to anybody who's playing the game. Let's talk about ball position with the driver.
Right. The ball position for the driver is very important because your driver, of course, is the longest club in the bag. That needs more space, more room to get back down to make contact. So when we're talking about the ball position, you want it definitely to be, you've probably all heard this, you want it more off your left foot or your left toe even, because again, it's the longest club and you want to have room. Where I've seen people make mistakes is they play it too far toward the center of their stance or toward their back foot. And that just creates more of a descending blow. With a driver, that's not what you want. You want more of a sweeping shot so that the club can release and you'll have a high trajectory, more carry, more roll. So again, put that ball a little bit more toward your left toe.
Yeah, because you get that ball up, you're going to help you hit up on the golf ball a little bit more. It's going to increase your launch, bring some of your spin down, going to give you more distance, which is something that we all want. Now, I'm going to ask this question out here before we get into this bonus tip, because I know a lot of people are thinking this and they're maybe afraid to ask it. And that is, how high should they tee the golf ball up? I see a lot of golfers are almost embarrassed to ask that, but it's an important thing. And then maybe you can even expand on that a little bit. What about if I'm going downwind or into the wind versus just normal conditions?
Absolutely. Well, especially in South Dakota, you do get a lot of wind here. So you have to pay attention because the ball will be affected by the wind. So if you are going into the wind, I would recommend placing it down, almost to this height where it's not up and above over the top of your driver head. You can see how it's where the size is right there, or where the height is. If you're going downwind, however, though, go ahead and put it up an extra inch because you want that ball, you want the wind to be able to help going down the fairway. I mean, it will. If you're teeing it up high, it's going to take a little more flight, more trajectory, which is going to be more carry, and then more roll.
I mean, getting that ball teed up the right height, it's going to really impact where you hit the ball in the face of it and not only your swing and all those types of things. So it's an integral part of what we're doing there. All right, so I promised everybody a bonus tip at the end. So I'm going to ask you a question here, and we're looking for your input on this as a tour professional, is that what about tempo? Because we work with a lot of females and a lot of guys. My guys, especially my high school, my college guys, I'm always like, hey, slow it down a little bit, right? You don't have to hit a home run on every single shot. Let's get the ball in play. But what about for female golfers? What do you notice?
Well, I've noticed some could be more aggressive. I mean, you're right. The men want to kill it and hit it hard as they can. But women sometimes need a little boost. They need to be a little bit more aggressive on the follow through. But I think a very good tip for trying to create good tempo is going slow and then go, slow. It's like 1, 2, where you're really going to accelerate on the downswing on the 2 or on the go. But going slow on the back will help you create a good transition at the top, which is essential for hitting a good shot.
Yeah, I love that term that you just used there, kind of the slow and then go, and just to kind of build to that. Because I think when people have bad tempo, they do just the reverse.
Yes.
They go too fast, quick, and then they almost slow down.
Right.
As they're coming into the ball. So all right, so I wanted, this has been fantastic. So I want to do kind of a quick recap. Let's do arms, we're going to talk about hips and ball position. Let's go through those real quick again for our viewers so they can know exactly what we want them to do next time they head to the golf course.
Sure. All right, ladies, put those arms up and above so you've got some space, and then address the ball, and you'll feel much more comfortable when you're trying to swing the golf club. Secondly, when you're out there playing, get those hips back. It's going to feel a little funny because women just don't want to put their fanny back, but go ahead and put it back there. It'll allow you to make a better turn back and through the golf shot.
And then we're a little bit about the ball position. We want to get that ball.
Ball position, you want them more off your left toe or off the left instep. Just make sure it's more forward and you'll be a lot happier.
I love it. Okay, you've heard some great tips from one of the best players that's ever played the game. These are some tips specifically for females, but quite honestly, as a guy, I think these would help almost all golfers. So, hey, we hope you like this information. Be sure to subscribe, be sure to leave a comment, and be sure to check back because we got more great golf content coming that's going to help you play better golf.